And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. This is your boy FlyIsland guy. We are back today in Puerto Rico. Actually, not Puerto Rico. What are we talking about? Let's just double check. So, I actually am not 100% where we are. It's just been one of those days. We are in Costa Rica. That's where we are. At 1 Santa Maria International, and we are going to be heading over to Managua, Nicaragua. So should be a pretty interesting flight. What I'd like to do is just double check the weather at our destination right now. So as you can see, currently we are looking at VFR conditions, and I know there is some rain in the area around Costa Rica, but as far as Nicaragua is concerned, there's nothing there. So once we kind of get out of San Jose, we should be in a good position and have some smooth sailing up to Managua. Right now, winds are out of 100 degrees at 10 knots over there. Temperature is a balmy 34 degrees C with a few clouds in the area. And weather conditions look like they've been steady for the past 4 or 5 hours. So I'm going to expect more of the same. Our flight today is going to be 1 hour and 20 minutes. So let's get going. We are all loaded up. Don't really have a full load at all today. We have about 3 passengers and a little bit of cargo, about 178 pounds. So we're gonna get ready to get out of here. Flight plan is already in. We're gonna be doing a standard instrument departure today, and we're also gonna be doing a standard instrument arrival in Nicaragua. I'm going to talk about that kind of once we get closer to the approach. Okay. So, airport map up. We are departing runway 7 here in Costa Rica. So let's get our taxi started, and we're gonna head over to the runway. It's runway 7. It's going to be off to our left. So, let's go. Aircraft taking off right here. Yeah, I'm not too sure exactly where the weather is here in Costa Rica, but things are looking okay the area for now. But yeah, definitely a bunch of thunderstorms and such in the area. So for a pretty smooth takeoff though. One thing is that if you look at our altimeter, we are already at 3,000 feet. So it's going to affect performance a little bit for the Twin Otter, since we're so high up, but it shouldn't really be a huge issue. Lots of runway to deal with, and regardless, the Twin Otter is pretty powerful anyway. Alright, let's just get ready here. We're gonna stop. Flaps already set. Let's get our strobe lights on. Landing lights are on. Taxi lights can come off. Get the pitot heat on as well. You don't really need it per se, but make sure nothing's coming. Looks good. So the main thing that I'm concerned about right now are these mountains to our left. Looks like our flight plan kind of has us heading directly towards them. We're actually gonna have to cross over them. So I'm at 12,000 feet right now. I'm gonna try and get up to about 14, 15,000. Do 15,000 for now. Let's see how that goes. Alright. Alright. Take off time. Keep an eye on my T5. Awesome. Look at that climb power. Just amazing. Let's go flaps up. Use a trim to compensate. Costa Rica has been absolutely beautiful. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I want to make sure that we fly this departure correctly. So I'm going to get the autopilot on. I'm going to go into GPS mode and then hit nav. I'm going to be really aggressive on our climb rate right now, just to make sure we can get up and over these mountains. I'm just loving this view on the way out. I'm going to take a screenshot. So I always enjoy looking at the terrain, looking at the scenery, seeing what I'm flying over. It's like maybe a soccer field or something right there. A football field, sorry for my hardcore soccer fans out there. We're just gonna hold this aggressive climb for now. I can't really see what's beyond these clouds, so not 100% sure what our clearance is gonna look like over these mountains. So because we're doing such an aggressive climb out, our airspeed is a little on the low side. I'm just gonna push the engines as much as I can, trying to avoid going into the red zone. Alright, just watching this airspeed. Just gonna reduce our rate of climb just a little bit, just to get a little bit of airspeed back. Right now we're doing a strong 80 knots on climb out. Crossed over 10,000. So landing lights will come off. Just kind of waiting to get out these clouds just so I can kind of gauge where we are. And once we do that, we can just have a quick chat about Managua. And as usual, just really get to explore where we're going to be going. Because I always like to talk about those things. Alright, so we're kind of out through the thick of things, and it looks like we are should be in a good place to get out over the top of those mountains. We're actually going to be turning right soon, so this peak up here shouldn't really be an issue, although I think that we're kind of above it already anyway. And we're gaining airspeed nicely as well, so good stuff. Looks like I made the right call to do that aggressive climb up. Okay, 1,000 to go. At this time we probably want to be using a little bit of supplemental oxygen. Because the twin Otter is unpressurized. So it wouldn't be flying up this high unless we absolutely have to. Alright, we should be starting our right turn soon. looks like we also probably have a little bit of a tailwind going on as well, maybe. Not 100% sure. Let's see. We departed runway 7. Runway 07, tracking. Now we're tracking 0, probably close to 030. That'll actually give us a little bit of a crosswind or even a headwind, so that's fine. Alright, so we seem to be up and over now, which is good. We are heading straight for Managua. Oh, we got something interesting going on here with the flight plan. It's a bit of a departure here for Color. It's not bad. Alrighty, so let's actually taking us kind of way off our flight path, which kind of sucks, but that's okay though. So let's take a quick look and see what Managua is all about. I always try and find a good website that'll give us lots of information. Normally what's cool is if you could actually find the country's official like tourist website. It's normally a good place to get a lot of information. Alright, I think I found a good one here. Okay, so found a website here titled Managua, a city of 1,000 colors, which is a beautiful description. Oh, look at this. What an amazing sight. I don't know what this is or where this is. Looks like a volcano or... That looks amazing. Sorry, I'm gonna take a screenshot of this too. Okay, sorry about that. That just really caught me off guard. That looks awesome. Okay. So this article is written by Julia Henriquez, maybe Julia Henriquez, I don't know how to pronounce that. And so she writes, cities are usually my least favorite place to visit as a traveler, so I generally try to avoid the noise, traffic, and pollution typical of urban centers during my expeditions. However, you can't really say you know a country if you haven't visited its capital, and so, as much as I'd like to avoid them, my nomadic wanderings often require visits to the big cities. This is how we came to Managua. Despite many people saying not worth it and only a few saying don't miss it, the first thing I noticed was the colorful cityscape. The streets of Managua look like a rainbow that shines down on a concrete jungle, while the city's greenery and natural lakes are a refreshing rest for the eyes. Incredibly, even in the very center of this city, the camera never stops. Our first stop is Loma Tezcapa, where a lookout point offers a 360-degree view of the city and two of its lakes. Atop this hill stands a huge figure of Sandino, a monumental 60-foot wood carved from a steel plate that features the Tree of Life symbol that abounds in the city, representing the triumph of life over death. Though it's now a park, the hill's history is a dark one. Government House was built on its peak in 1931. Just 2 months after it was built, an earthquake destroyed it. But the building was rebuilt and went on to house 12 presidents. The shadow hanging over the house is linked to the years of the Somoza family dictatorship, when the basement was used as a prison and torture chamber for political prisoners who opposed the regime. On December 23, 1972, another earthquake destroyed the building yet again. The museum that now stands in its place tells boat stories. The Sandino Vive Room tells of the campaign carried out by Sandino to free Nicaragua from U.S. intervention. The Nights of Torture Room narrates the story of those who suffered abuses of power during the Somoza dictatorship. Our guide is rather quiet, but once he sees our interest, he surprises us with the amazing history of his country, while also asking us questions about our own countries and their liberators. The end of this visit leaves us astonished by the amount of knowledge exchanged on both sides, all for the modest sum of a smile. We know now the terrible story of a country that struggled for years and even centuries to achieve the peace it has enjoyed since the 1990s. Leaving this hall of infamy behind, the first thing we see is a children's playground painted pink, green, and blue. This is the current reality. Playgrounds built on what were once centers of oppression and torture. The walk down the hill immersed us in our thoughts, helped restore our bodies and souls. We leave behind a gigantic statue of Sandino, and soon the streets around us are full of color and culture. The park dedicated to the revolutionary leaders of America, the Central Plaza, and the Ruben Dario Theater form an open-air gallery along an avenue that connects all of Managua with the waterfront. The entire walk is filled with Nicaraguan culture and history told through colors, graffiti, murals, statues, and music, all under a sun so hot it seems to melt the soles of our shoes. When we reach the Malecon or pier, the colors explode again. From here, there are 2 possible routes. The one on the left side on the left that would take us past Puerto Salvador Allende, and the one on the right would take us past the Paseo Zolotlan. The routes are separated by a square flying the Sandinista and Nicaraguan flags, where students meet and all kinds of celebrations take place. We decide to head to the left and discover a pathway overlooking the lake that's lined with restaurants, bars, and music. Puerto Salvador Allende is the perfect place to enjoy the sunset and spend a very pleasant moment with family or friends. If you aren't interested in eating or cruising around on foot, you can check out the lake from one of the comfortable catamarans. We waste no time in doing just that. We climb aboard one of the boats and head to Isla del Amor, famous in the past for the wild parties that the dictator Somoza used to throw, but now a perfect paradise for wild birds. Our return trip is accompanied by the rhythms of bachata and traditional Nicaraguan music. At sunset, the sky is invaded by color, and we dance under fiery clouds. In the city of 1,000 colors, the sunsets are naturally spectacular. We return to Malecon the following day under an intense sun. It's Saturday, and the square is full of families. Children run back and forth between the monument to the country's war veterans and the large kiosk in the park, and teenagers look for Pokemon in the square. We visit the old cathedral, the Casa de los Pueblos, and the National Palace. Next, we explore the Paseo Zolotlan, which is much quieter and designed for family outings. It has small kiosks and playgrounds for children. The view of the lake and the fresh air make us want to linger. On the far right, there's a replica of old Managua. Buildings built to scale give us an idea of the city before the devastating earthquake that destroyed it in 1972. And on the far left, a small museum displays models of the homes of Ruben Dario and Sandina and his wife Blanquita, the invincible heroes of these highlands. The sun has begun its descent, and we've been promised an evening of culture at the Tiangu Manimbo, beginning at 5 o'clock, with young dancers from Messiah, the cradle of Nicaraguan folklore. The Tianguis, formerly indigenous trade centers, are now small government-sponsored cooperatives where entrepreneurial families can set up handcraft or food stalls. In the evening, the Tianguis are ready for a party with dance performers and folk music from all over the country. We can hear the drums and the trombone in the distance. Masked devils and monsters surround us in a foot-stomping dance, followed by multicolored skirts and one dance after another. The stars and the sparkling lights illuminate the whirling youngsters in gorgeous regional costumes. Managua gives us the perfect send-off as one of its typical rainbows explodes, flooding this capital of celebrations with color over and over again. Our evening comes to an end, and we say goodbye to Managua with the refrain, "Come on, come now." So that was just a cool little article I found by a traveler, just talking about their experience in Managua. And I'm not gonna lie, it looks absolutely beautiful there. So what else we'll do is just grab a couple other quick facts here. So they were talking about the origins for the name Managua, and they said it may have originated from the term Mana Ahuac, which is the indigenous Nahuatl language, translates to adjacent to the water, a site surrounded by water. Or it may have come from the Mangay language, where the word Managua was said to mean place of the big man or chief. Residents of the city are called Managuas, Managuenses, or Capitalinos. So Managua is located on the southern shores of an eponymous lake, or eponymous lake, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, also known as Lake Zolotland. Lake Managua contains the same fish species as larger Lake Cochibolca in southeastern Nicaragua, except the freshwater sharks found exclusively in the latter. One Managuan scenic highlight, the lake has been polluted from the dumping of chemical and wastewater since 1927. A new sewer system and the redirecting of the wastewater to a new wastewater treatment plant at Las Mercedes, funded by the German government to decontaminate the lake, is expected to be the largest in Central America and was inaugurated in 2009. These works of progress have relieved all concerns over water pollution and the endangering of native wildlife, have brought some residents close to the old city center to the rest of the mainland. Managua city area extends about 544 square kilometers, essentially south from the south shore of Lake Managua, and the lake shore is at an altitude of 55 meters, and the city climbs as it gets towards the Sierras de Managua further south, where it's over 700 meters or 2,297 feet above sea level. Geologically, the city lies on fault lines, thus seismologists predict that Managua will experience a severe earthquake every 50 years or less. So Managua features 4 smaller crater lakes or lagoons within city limits, and the most centrally located is the Discapa Lagoon and the Discapa Lagoon Natural Reserve. So the Discapa Lagoon is south of the old downtown and was formed approximately 3,000 years ago. Asosca Lagoon to the west is Managua's most important source of drinking water, and Asoska or Asososka. Asososka is at the beginning of Southern Highway, close to the connection with the new highway to Leon. Nihapa Lagoon, south of Asososka Lagoon, is also along the Southern Highway, and the fourth is Akahualinka Lagoon, located to the northwest, close to the shores of Lake Zolotland. It gives its name to the nearby district to the east. Akahualinka is noted for having shallow waters. So the climate, much like much of western Nicaragua, except for the Sierras, is a tropical climate with constant temperatures between 28 and 32 degrees C. It's considered tropical, and the city has a tropical, wet, and dry climate. The city spends most of the year seeing strong heat and a bright, shining sun, and the temperature varies from 72 degrees Fahrenheit at 22 degrees C at night to 86 degrees Fahrenheit or 30 degrees during the daytime. Temperatures are highest in March, April, and May when the sun lies directly overhead, and the summer rainfall has yet to begin. As stated before, Managua only has 2 seasons, the dry and the rainy. And the rainy season occurs between mid-May and mid-November, while the dry season occurs between mid-November and the middle or end of May. So during the dry season, the countryside gets dull and even dusty. Alright, so I'm going to leave it there for now. Actually, one more thing. I just saw something interesting. So, crime in Managua. So neither Nicaragua nor the city of Managua have major gang problems in comparison to some of its regional neighbors. The number of gang members was estimated at 4,500 throughout the country, lower than all of its northern neighbors in the region except Belize. In 2003, the police of Nicaragua recognized gangs committed only 0.51 of all crimes, and in 1991 there were 110 gangs in Managua. In 2001, the number of gangs reduced to 96, and a total of 1,725 members. Over the next 3 or 4 years, the number of gangs and gang members have both decreased and increased, and in late 2005, the number of gangs had decreased significantly to 34 gangs, and there are 706 members in Managua. These represented 38% and 32% of the national total of gangs and its members. And Chief of Police Aminta Granera stated that vehicle robberies have reduced as only 200 reports are filed in 2006. So that's just some small information about Managua. I actually can't wait to see it. But in the meantime, we are just going to enjoy our flight, and hopefully we'll get some good views of Managua and the surrounding area when we come in for approach. Alright? But in the meantime, I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the view. I can imagine we have a little ways to go, or a long ways to go, before we actually reach close enough to start our descent. I'll be calculating that, and when I come back, we'll be shooting the approach into Managua, and yeah, should be all good for the most part. Alright, this is your boy FlyIsland Guy. I am out. I'll be back soon. Welcome back. We have started our descent into Managua, and been a pretty smooth flight overall. Getting a little bit of turbulence now coming in on approach, but let's just have a little quick discussion about what we're going to do, and I'm going to have to talk really fast because we are really about to reach final approach soon. So we're going to be doing the ILS runway 10 approach. Well, they don't 100% know which one of these we're actually doing, which I know it sounds kind of weird, but I'm honestly not too sure. So I'm just using this guy for now as a guide. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be heading towards this Danto waypoint, and from there we're going to get onto the localizer. So I'm going to make sure to tune 109.1, and then we're just going to be coming in, intercepting the glide slope, and coming in for landing. Weather around here overall is pretty clear, as we saw on the weather report, and the weather hasn't really changed since then, so that's good. And it's as I predicted, like the weather has stayed clear for the most part. As you can see, there's a little bit of cloud in the area, but nothing too crazy. What I will do is tune 109.1. Yeah, 109.1. Go ahead and drop that in. And there we go. We are now, we've tuned the localizer, it's coming up. MNMG is the ICO code for the airport, and we're going to be doing the ILS 10 approach, so we are good to go. What I can do at this point, since we are heading towards Danto, is I could just switch over to VLOC mode, and it should automatically turn into the localizer. So we can actually go ahead and do that now. So change our CDI source to VLOC. And we're actually already like turning now to intercept it, which is good. Looks like we're heading straight for the Managua waypoint. So what I'm going to do is descend to 3,000 feet. Yeah, so the plane's kind of now just kind of cutting the approach and just heading straight towards the localizer, which is alright by me. We can set our course as well. Should be 097. That's what we're looking for. Is right about there ish. Looks like we're dealing with a little bit of turbulence, kind of moving around a little bit. Airport should be off to our 2 o'clock roundabout. Looks like we're going to be heading over the city, which I'm really excited about, because as I said before, especially for the aircraft that I've been flying, like we don't really do too much approaches over cities. A lot of times I'm flying into very small airports. Actually, in fact, I'm gonna go down to 2,800 feet. That should get us right on the bang where we need to be for the glide slope. Gonna go approach mode as well. This is awesome, man. Absolutely loving it. So we are gonna be flying over Managua. Adjusted the altimeter for the local area. This is the airport right ahead of us in the distance. Right there. And let's start getting prepared for landing so we can go ahead and move our props to max RPM. We can start dropping some flap as well. I mean, this plane slows down fairly quickly. Alright, I'm going to bring up the airport map on the right here. Just so I could see where we're supposed to go. Dealing with an 8,000 foot runway, and the main apron looks to be on the left hand side. Over here. So right now we can just try and enjoy Managua. Let's see. I need to set up a cockpit view for the right side. So let's do this. There we go. Now we have a co-pilot's view. We have a good view of Managua below us. Look at that. This little round building here. And this, my friends, is the reason. This is the reason why we do this. This is why we enjoy flying so much in Flight Simulator. Being able to explore other parts of the world without leaving your living room or your office or wherever. Not having to pay thousands of dollars for an airline ticket. Microsoft Flight Simulator allows you to get a good representation of what the area looks like, you know, what it's all about. So it looks like we're actually established on the glide slope now. Just lower the flaps a little more. Looks like there's an aircraft taking off or what? Might be coming in for a landing. Had to take another screenshot. This is beautiful, man. Alright, let's go full flaps. Final checks. Gear is obviously always down. Fuel looks good. RPM set to max. Fuel condition levels set to high. And landing lights are on. Final checks are complete, folks. I'll take over from here, and let's see if we can get this down smoothly. So I have the aircraft. Just basically following the just kind of following the descent rate. Okay. All right, let's come back a little bit. Alright, here we are, folks. Welcome to Managua. Looks like local time here is about 7:22 p.m. That's absolutely awesome. Landed smooth. No issues there. Get the landing lights off. I'll get the strobes off in a second. Let's take this left turn right here. Strobes can come off as well. Taxi lights are on. Gonna turn off the bleeder as well. And I'm just gonna park right here. Good stuff. Alright, let's get things cleaned up. I'll turn off the seatbelt signs, no smoking signs. Beacons will come off. I'll go ahead and feather the props. And yeah. Flaps can come up, always forget to do that. And engine off. Alright, that is it. Get this door open. Let's get the 3 passengers out. And I left my taxi lights on, which you always do. Alright, taxi lights, where are you? That's the one. Alright. So that is it, folks. Hope that you enjoyed this flight. This is actually a pretty awesome approach into Managua, Nicaragua. So very glad to be here. As I said, we're continuing to make our way up and around Central America, and making our way back into the Caribbean. I feel like it's going to take us forever to get there, but it's all good. No worries. As usual, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video if you see fit. Outside of that, this is your boy FlyIsland Guy saying stay safe. Most importantly, stay fly. I'm out. Peace.